kissing kiss, for he who call my heart is bliss. If you don't want to encounter spoilers for The Secret History by Donna Tartt, as narrated by Richard Papin, then you'd better click away now. If you're fine with all that, then... In the 1980s, Hampden College, where I taught languages, was the natural home of three types of person. Firstly, debauched hedonists who partook in alcohol and drugs freely and to mind-numbing excess, which was most of the student body and a fair slice of its teachers also. Secondly, an intensely proud brand of cultural elitist, who shunned the former group and their fellow man in general for that matter. And thirdly, by some curious quirk of fate, people whose first names rhymed with their last names, like my own, Georges Laforgue, and examples like Judy Poovey and Laura Stora also come to mind. Now let me ask you, into which category did Richard Papin fall? It was none. He may have aspired to elitism, and had some gift for study and languages in particular, and indeed hubris, but his low-life background always denied him true acceptance. "I'm just a poor boy," he would complain to the college grants office. "Nobody loves me." And in truth he was just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity. But I digress. And so it was to my surprise that the grand lord of exclusivity himself, classics teacher Julian Morrow, admitted Papin to his tiny class of princelings. Francis Abernathy, of the ostentatious eyewear and the immense trust fund, the loathsome Henry Winter, brilliant to be sure, but disconnected from the world by his great wealth and even greater self-regard. Edmund Corcoran, who some called Bunny, swaggering about campus in the fine Italian suits that no doubt his father's bank manager's salary provided, with his few feeble brain cells rattling tinnily in his skull as he went. Even the twins, Charles and Camilla Macaulay, were nurtured in refinement, despite having relatively few dollars to their name. Julian Morrow's long-standing personal fiefdom at Hampden had always led a charmed life to my mind. I would have thrown him out years before. But when Papin was admitted to his inner circle, it was as if the enchantment was broken. And within a term, there was nothing but disarray and misfortune for the whole pack of them. Camilla, I hear, could easily have died after a shard of glass cut an artery in her foot while paddling in a lake. Over the winter recess, Papin himself almost froze to death, whilst seeing out the coldest months of New England in unsuitable temporary accommodation. Only a spell in hospital revived him. No sooner had school and spring resumed, it seemed, than Bunny had vanished, with weeks of snowy conditions following before his unfortunate body was found at the foot of the ravine. A fellow student then committed suicide, even before the intense media attention from Bunny Corcoran's demise had passed. Surely, thought I, the luck will now change. But things only escalated. Abernathy was admitted to hospital with chest pains. Julian vanished. Charles Macaulay smashed up a car and was due to appear in court until he too vanished. Papin was shot in the stomach, but by a miracle was not killed. And we all recall what happened to Henry. Perhaps it was some universal force, seeking to restore balance, to strip them of their privilege and their conceits. Who can say? But it made for quite the tale of scholarly woe. And this is the only story I will ever be able to tell.